Hello everybody. Appreciate you guys taking your time to watch this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon for notifications when I post a weather update. Now, let's get into the video. It's a quick update of the current conditions right now. What you guys are looking at, I've shown this graph many times before. This is the MJO, or favorable patterns that are coming into the Atlantic region. So green is basically favorable conditions, and we're looking at sometime in July is when conditions are going to get a lot better. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to get anything. There's a possibility of, even on a pocket of small area, where we could see some probability of development. But overall, the conditions are expected to get better in July. So basically, let me do a little zoom in here. You guys can see more green showing up in July. Now, that is one thing. Now let's take a look at what is going on with El Nino. So a lot of talk about it. You know, people saying, hey, you know, we're in El Nino, we're La Nina, whatever the case may be. And what you guys are seeing right now, I'll be honest with you, I have never seen anything like this. In other words, such a strong signal. Normally, you would see a little bit of blue, like a blue bar, or maybe some gray, indicating El Nino conditions, La Nina, or neutral. That's what those colors mean. Now, what you guys are noticing is that there's pretty much only a red bar. What does that mean? That El Nino is expected to be very, very strong. And I'll be honest with you, I've been tracking storms for roughly about 20 years, 25 years. And I've never seen such a strong El Nino. Now, we did have 2015. Since the last 25 years, that has been probably the strongest El Nino. Of course, we had 1997, that it was fairly strong, but never anything like this, at least in my lifetime. And you guys are seeing that there is no questions that we are definitely in El Nino, and we are heading for potentially the strongest El Nino ever recorded in history. So that's what you guys are seeing on the red bar, basically. It's just a itty bitty pieces of gray, which means neutral. That's about it. And then El Nino, of course. Now, let's take a look also of conditions. So let's take a look and see what is happening as far as conditions. Now, red in this chart means a lot of wind shear. So in other words, not conducive for development. But when we zoom in, it's a little pocket of moderate chance in the south of Cuba, towards the peninsula of Yucatan, and then closer to Florida, literally right on top of Florida. So this is what I'm saying is that a storm or a little pocket of energy will have to get into the right spot in order to maybe spin up and get a little strong. But overall conditions are not great at all, at least for now. And same thing when you guys are looking at, for the most part, the main development region, which is where the majority of storms form in the Atlantic. Everything is red for the most part. So, you know, for the surface area where the majority of storms form, indicating that it's not a good, good probability of, or to support formation. Now, let's take a look also. Let me see. I wanted to show you one more. Let's see if I can spot it here. Well, yeah, I can't see it. Either way, let's take a look and see what is happening according to the National Hurricane Center. What are the probabilities? Well, if I zoom in, that little area right there, I'm not worried at all, because, again, conditions are not conducive, and it just doesn't have enough time over water and all the ingredients to really strengthen. Now, as far as the Pacific, which is basically what everybody's watching, excuse me, guys. What you guys are seeing there, a spot. The National Hurricane Center is basically giving it a 30% chance of development. And it's very far south from land, which the closest piece of land or island in general is actually Hawaii. I mean, let me zoom in there. You guys see Hawaii right there. So again, even if it forms, not expected to become anything major or any kind of issues. And then let's take a look at the forecasting models and also the sea surface analysis. So if we go here, 26 degrees Celsius support development. So you guys can see that technically speaking, from a water temperature perspective, sea surface temperature perspective, it is definitely well above 26 degrees Celsius for the majority of the southern Atlantic. And then once it starts getting to the middle of the Atlantic, all the way to the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico, and again, near Florida, water temperatures are warm enough to support tropical activity. Now let's take a look at the graph here. So what this graph means, again, is El Nino. It's just confirmation that El Nino 3.4, which is where the area where the majority of the development happens, it is very strong. It has a strong signal, and you guys can see it because negative territory is La Nina, and then plus territory is El Nino, and it's slowly just creeping up. And we're basically talking about right now is middle of June. So this is gonna get a lot higher once we start getting towards the peak of the season. So something to definitely be watching. And now let's take a quick look at the satellite imagery, see what is happening. The United States in general, well, let's do a wide view. You guys can see a lot of showers, of course, starting on the coast of Africa. South America, you guys are getting tons of moisture, Venezuela, Colombia, Central America. Now, if we do a little bit of zooming, tons of parts of Mexico, same thing. Some precipitation this morning. And now one area that I'm actually looking, or that I'm gonna highlight, this area here in Texas, that's actually developing or producing strong thunderstorms actually as we speak right now. Now, some of the moisture may make its way towards Florida. This afternoon, we're in the top of the season. We're in the top of the time of the season, I should say, where we start getting frequent afternoon thunderstorms, and that's basically what we're expecting for the rest of the week. Now, as far as the forecasting models, let's take a look at some of them. We got right here the GFS. Now, GFS is really just showing some precipitation in some low pressure systems. See, like this one right here. And this is this is on Sunday. So Sunday, a strong low pressure system is expected to make its way across the mid-USA, the Midwest, potentially creating some severe weather, severe thunderstorms, some chances of isolated tornadoes, and in some cases, strong tornadoes actually. That's a possibility as well that we may see with this particular system. Large hail, kind of like what we have been seeing for the past few days in the Midwest. And it has been, unfortunately, so there have been some casualties, some deaths, unfortunately, related to tornadoes. So that's something to keep an eye on for the remaining of the week. Some of the models are definitely supporting the idea of some strong tornadoes. But then again, this is the GFS in general for tropics, not really showing anything. Let's take a look at the Euro. The Euro kind of, that little spot that the National Hurricane Center highlighted, that's basically what you guys are seeing there in yellow here. If we go to the future, kind of makes its landfall in Louisiana. Kind of, not landfall because it's not a developed system, but you know what I mean. It's basically impacting that area the most. Now let's take a look. Let's dig in a little bit more in what I mentioned in regards of the severe weather and potential for tornadoes. So let's take a look at the mesoscale is what I want to show you guys. So let's take a look at the 3K there. So kind of zoom out again. Now this is you guys can see like a line. I know it's hard to see because it's not as pronounced, but kind of like in this area here, it's almost like a line of wind, strong severe thunderstorms. Now this is based on let's see here. Yeah, see, this is what I'm concerned mostly here. So we're talking about potentially over the weekend. Well, in this case, I'm taking that back. This is a Wednesday. So for Wednesday, but later on the week, we're definitely going to continue to see a pattern like this, but for potential tornado development and strong winds. But I wanted to, of course, give you guys a quick update. I'm trying to do a little bit more in-depth videos for you guys, not only tropics related, but overall, trying to give you more information, especially for you folks in the Midwest. In other words, Tornado Alley. You guys definitely need to be paying attention, I would say, for the whole week. Not necessarily tropics, but definitely for potential severe weather, thunderstorms, tornadoes, for tornado formation in general. It's that time of the year, unfortunately, where a little bit of instability in the atmosphere can really spark up something such a strong tornado. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, please, with your families and friends, especially if they are potentially getting impacted by severe weather this week. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you.